Hello world, I'm Paul from Slow Dragon Music and you are watching SDM TV. Okay, hi there, welcome back to SDM TV, where we get into the guts of it with band members and members of the music industry about things which make our world go round. In episode 3, which is this one by the way, we'll be talking about battle type events and live initiatives as associated with larger scale operations, i.e. festivals. So, joining me today we have Patricia Lang from Swiss folk death metal group Abinchova, Andri Bjorn from Icelandic atmospheric black metalers Auôn. How's my pronunciation there?
My name was fine.
The band name.
The band almost. It's an Ö actually. It's Auðn.
Auðn. Okay, I can try and remember that. And slightly easier, from Irish metal mob Dead Label, drummer Claire Percival. How are we doing today, guys?
Well,
doing good.
Great.
Good. So, as I said, we're going to talk about battle type events, so specifically live initiatives. Well, technically we've got no Brits on here apart from me. So I thought I'd try and start as close to home as possible, and that means you, Claire. You ready?
Hello. Yeah.
So am I right in thinking that although you took part in Bloodstock's Metal to the Masses, Dead Label, when they did that, didn't actually progress from the Irish leg directly, despite the fact that you have actually played there a couple of times?
Yeah. So in 2014, I think it was, we took part in the Metal to the Masses, and we made it to the final, and it was an amazing experience. Like the kind of the build up and everything was really, really good. Like, it takes place in Fibres, which if you're an Irish metal band, it's basically where you live. And we I think we came third in the final, and then the following year we were invited to play on the Sophie stage, which is the bigger stage past what you play when you win. So there's New Blood, which is what you play when you win, and then there's Sophie and main stage. So yeah, we played not the main stage yet, the Sophie stage in 2015 and 2018, I think it was. So yeah, I don't know, maybe like it was what we did afterwards, or it was possibly that we just fit the lineup better the next year. I'm not was never told.
So, well, I think it's fair to say that Dead Label has grown significantly since then. I just wanted to ask, do you think that your involvement in Metal to the Masses actually had a positive influence on that?
Yes, definitely. Definitely, yeah. I think not winning the original competition kicked us really hard in the ass to get our kind of just go professional. Like, we consider ourselves professional probably since 2012, but we were in that mindset that bands can have where you think things are just going to happen, and then when we didn't win, it really, really hurt. So we're like, let's work twice as hard and get these gigs. So I think the fact that we didn't win was probably one of the biggest influences on us that we ever had.
Yeah, I think that's a lesson you can take forward from this type of event, is that you have to put your shoulder to the wheel and kind of make something happen with it. Yeah.
Yes.
I guess that's generally true for everything in running a band.
Yeah.
You just have to put a bit more in. Okay, so how about take the conversation into less familiar waters for me. That's you, Angie. So round about the same time, I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. Auðn?
Yeah, close. Auðn.
You took part in the Wacken battle, the Iceland leg of the Wacken battle, to get and go and play there. So you're quite far out there. I did wonder when I saw that, geographically speaking, did taking part in something like that, which spans across, obviously, from way over past Germany right up there, did that make you feel more connected to the metal world at large doing that?
Playing in Germany, that is.
No, just to initially taking part in the Wacken Metal Battle in Iceland.
Yeah, I think, it gives you, it's a very nice opportunity to, network with people from, like the mainland Europe, like organizers and people who aren't afraid to criticize you like really harshly, which you learn a lot from that, we met, Gunnar Sauermann basically through the Wacken Metal Battle thing, and he didn't really, I don't think he liked us at first, and he was very honest about that, and which, it's at first you're kind of, defensive, but he had, he usually has good points, and I think we learned a lot from that. I think there's I'd say there's it helps a lot with the cooperation. And these people who are at Wacken Metal Battle, they also tend to come to other Icelandic festivals every once in a while. So it's basically good to meet them, and it helps break the ice, so to speak.
I get you. It's good to get networking opportunities out of it.
I mean, in an island in the far north that most people hadn't heard about before the the volcanic eruption in 2010, I guess.
Oh, I don't know. I think people who have heard of it, they just maybe didn't realize how quite far out it is. I mean, Ireland has a little bit of issue.
Mm-hmm. Sorry?
I said Ireland has some of the same sort of issue, being a bit further out. I'm sure Claire can testify to that.
Yes.
So anyway, at the point where you did this, you were already picking up steam, but it seems like things got quite crazy for Uthen.
Mm-hmm.
Going straight on to sign up with Season of Mist, and it seems like you got booked for a lot of mainland festivals coming out of that. But do you think that was actually a direct impact of being involved in that, or part of the impact, or do you think this was just something that was coming anyway?
No, we had to. I know that. I think we had already, tried to get on Season of Mist a couple years before, but I don't think we were. We just weren't good enough yet. Like playing live and all that. Just didn't have the experience and the kind of the oomph behind us. And it all kind of happened when we were at this festival in Iceland called Eistnaflug. And that kind of helped us a lot, because we were booked after our show there to Roadburn and Inferno. And I think because of that, also basically Michael in Season of Mist, I think he saw us on that show. So it all kind of boiled down to that one, really good show we had, and a lot of luck, really. It just happened to be like all the right people at the right time were there. And this, I think, also, and we can also thank, I think, Wacken Metal Battle for that, because there's this man, Thorstein here. He's the organizer for the Iceland branch of that, and he's also very powerful in kind of creating these, avenues or whatever you would say for bands, So it's this, and connecting this to Eistnaflug especially. I'd say that was kind of the spark, that we needed, and we. Yeah, I think, we've been kind of riding that since, almost.
Mm-hmm. So again, like Klaus, kind of like it's part of the bigger picture, but you have to put in a lot of work outside of that. It's not going to be
and you have no idea. You have no idea if something's going to work out or not, and sometimes you just I think it's just a combination of, you know, a lot of work and a lot of luck, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's you know, the simplest way to say it.
It sounds like an accurate assessment.
Yeah.
So, okay, I think I'd like to move on to our third guest, a bit closer to the eye of the Wacken storm. It's Patricia. So, Abinchova, is that correct? Am I pronouncing that one correct?
Well, almost. It's a bit difficult to pronounce because it's a Swiss German. So that's typically Swiss German.
So
we got a lot of sound, so it's more like Abinchova. But it doesn't matter. We've been called anchovies, Abinchova. It's a difficult name, so
that's fine for me. I'm in Scotland, so it's fine. That's like Loch, but it's a bit the way you're pronouncing it sounds a bit softer than the way I'm saying it. So if I was to say Abinchova,
that's perfect.
It's a bit softer than your pronunciation. Anyway, to get back to the point, you've been involved in a heck of a lot of different forms of competitions and battles. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that you know your way around them pretty well. But for comparison's sake, maybe stick to Wacken. Yep. You were involved in that a while ago and won and went on to play the big festival as well. How would you say that stacks up against the other competitions, the other battles? For example, the Metal Days competition that you did as well.
I guess there are more, let's say, important people out of the business around at Wacken Festival for sure. Sorry, I didn't get your name from Auôn. What's your name?
Andri.
Andri. Okay, so what Andri said before, there are people around from important magazines as Gunnar Sauermann from Metal Hammer. There are people of labels around. There are many bands around. Maybe you won't meet the big bands, but some other bands you can connect. So there are just more opportunities to meet people there compared maybe to smaller festivals. Also, Metal Days in Slovenia, I guess, because it's a bit farther away there. Well, at least I haven't seen that many people from important labels or magazines. Maybe they were there. I don't know. Yeah.
I would imagine there were some people, but Wacken is kind of like, well, it's kind of like it's Wacken. It's metal.
It's metal. Yeah.
You know, we all know it. I guess
there's just no comparison to that. Yeah.
But I suppose that means there's more demand on the attention of the people that are there. There's bigger connections to be made and more, just a higher number of networking opportunities. But there's also a lot more bands on the same level.
True, yeah.
But obviously, from what you're saying, it did something more for you than the Metal Days competition, or I'm assuming any of the other smaller initiatives you were involved in.
Yeah, definitely.
So one follow-on question to that is some of those were online voting. Some of those were, I think you used the term being elected to the slots. Which do you prefer? Do you prefer the live approach to the online voting thing?
Definitely live approach, yeah. No, online votings, most of them don't even work properly, so it's easy to cheat, and it's just the one wins that's the best cheater, kind of. And also the voting we won, there were some I don't know, some people from Chile, I guess, or any countries that try to vote hundreds of times, and it was a big mess. And in the end, the festival just decided, okay, you get the slot, but we're never gonna make voting again.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, and after that we didn't take part in any competition that was based on the voting anymore, because it was just pretty frustrating and annoying kind of. Yeah,
Okay.
and I guess the live competitions are more fair. There you can really see how a band performs, and especially if there's a do you say jury?
Jury,
when there are jury, where there are judges around. Yeah, that's cool. If not only the audience votes, because then it's sometimes also the one who brings the most friends wins. But I'd say most professional festivals got judges, or at least half.
Yeah.
I
mean, so guys, I'm going to say to summarize the main point. Again, it just sounds like it's beyond going and winning and anything like that. These sort of events, it sounds like a great opportunity to network and to get a sort of a starting block that you can work from, but you actually have to work from there. You can't expect it to do it from you. Does that sound fair to all of you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, again, it's work, and as Andri said before, it's also luck sometimes. Who you meet, if the right people are around, or whatever. If you meet bands who are able to get you connected to other important people, whatever. But anyways, it's also about the experience, at least for me. So if you don't meet important people, it's just a very great experience to play a festival.
Or even to play some of these battle events have huge turnouts, and it can just be great fun just to play. I mean,
right.
That would be the way that I would go into it. Would be just say this is going to be a fun thing to do. Right, so I'm going to quickly go back around the circle, and I'm going to ask everyone to say this same question just now, which, starting with Claire again, is what advice would you give somebody who was going into playing one of these events, the battle events, for the very first time?
What I've seen, I don't know if it's just Irish people, Irish bands, but treat it like they're playing the festival. So I've seen bands turn up at these kind of Metal to the Mass events really drunk, or complaining that they're on first, which you definitely will be if you're playing a festival for years and years and years. You've got to be able to play first. Don't do a cover. Don't play a cover. Don't have that the most memorable song you do, because then you're not playing the festival on your own merits. Be professional, be prepared, be sober, and just maybe like have a good attitude and a good camaraderie. I can't, you know the word I mean, with the other bands, because it's awful competition and accommodating. Like some of them are really, really vicious, and to be honest, wherever the competition takes place, you're that scene. So, like for instance, Ireland, the Metal to the Mass competition, all the bands comprise the scene, and after the festival has happened, we've still all got to keep our scene alive and play shows and bring more metal heads out to shows. If you're jealous of each other, it's not gonna foster anything good, and so there's got to be gained from not winning as well, like, you know, organising gigs with new bands and maybe going to different cities, and it's so much to be gained from just playing. But mostly, from what I've seen, stay sober, and if you're playing first, play with a good attitude. Don't complain about that, because that's, you know,
somebody's got to go first.
You're gonna spend your whole first play with a good. Yeah, like the minute you get a support slot, you've got to go first, and you might be opening for Slayer. Well, not anymore, but you know. You've heard the story about opening for Slayer. You've got to be. So, yeah, I think that's all I'd say.
I guess if you were going on first, you could even see that as an opportunity to just blow everyone away straight away, and then just leave everyone else to try and catch up with you.
Yeah, exactly. For Slayer, well, not anymore, but you know, you've heard the story about opening for Slayer. You've got to be good yourself.
I think that would be a hard job, trying to blow Slayer off the stage as an opening band, but you could always give it a shot.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
So what about you, Andri?
I definitely take the gig if it ever. Oh, don't worry.
Carry on.
Sorry, I think my internet's gone really slow. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. It's good to just be talking with you. So yeah, I will move on then. Andri, so if I'm even pronouncing that one right as well. you fill me up.
Good.
So what advice would you give to a first timer taking part in one of these events?
Well, I mean, we actually competed twice in the Icelandic one. We got second place first, and we never really went in with the mentality that it was a competition. We were just gonna have fun and have a good show. I think that's what's most important, at least from my perspective, because then you won't feel as bad when you lose.
It's armor.
Yeah. But I mean, for us, I mean, we eventually got to the Wacken in Germany, and that I think that's. I mean, for me, music shouldn't really be a competition,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we just went with a mindset that we were just gonna have a really good show. And I think also just what we did is just to try and practice as much as you can before, and be able to do everything blindly, not have to think about what you're playing, but just do it. I think we also try to focus a bit on the on the performance itself, not just what we're playing, but what we're doing on stage and stuff like that. We try to have some kind of loose choreography. We're not super rigid, but you know what to do when this part of a song comes or whatever. Yeah, but I think also talk to the lights guy. That's seriously that's if you have some kind of light show in mind, and if it's synchronized with the music, that it both feeds the audience even better, and it's like you feel more powerful on stage at the same time.
I absolutely get that.
I think that's that's my 2 cents.
Thank you. That's what I was always asking for. I think it's interesting that you say that even in these type of organised initiatives, that you see the case that music shouldn't be a competition. And I mean, to a degree, I think that comes down to how each individual band approaches it.
Of course.
I don't know if any of you know, but Slow Dragon Music, my little business, actually is taking on the Scottish leg of Metal to the Masses as well. And the way I see it is the bands going into it are entering kind of like gladiator school in a way, if that makes sense. It's not a come in and win. It's a like come on in and let's see if we can use this to help you develop. And maybe that's just because I've been in bands all my days as well. I would encourage every band to think of it in that way.
Yeah, I think that's it's a learning process, definitely, and you learn a lot from it. I think that's maybe the best part about these, because you, like I said, you get people who aren't afraid to criticize you, and they're not trying to be mean or anything like that, but they're just giving you pointers, and if you actually listen and take them to heart, you can grow as a band.
Yeah, I totally agree. So one more. Patricia, your closing advice for any bands looking to take part in any of these competitions, initiatives? what would you say to them if it was their first time?
Well, many important things have been said already, but I'm just trying to add a few more. I guess most important is to act professionally. So what Claire said, being sober is just obvious, but also try to set up quickly, try not to complain again, just deal with what you get. You won't have your equipment, maybe you cannot hear anything. So what Andri said before, be able to play your stuff blindly. Yeah, and I guess that's super important, because also when we played bigger clubs, they always told us afterwards, hey, you were pretty fast, that's cool, we can book you again. And that's super important. Also, the sound engineers appreciate it when you're fast. And that's sometimes even more important, especially when it comes to booking support acts for shows. They just want someone who's fast, who's not complaining, who's just doing the job. Yeah. And yeah, I guess that's about it. And have fun, really, really have fun. Enjoy the show. Yeah, it's just an awesome experience. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds great. I can't imagine too many bands complaining about getting the opportunity to play even just the finals or something like this, or indeed want to play Bloodstock or Wacken.
You'd be surprised how many bands that are complaining, and who are also, if you are playing longer than you're allowed to, that's an absolute no-go. Not even 1 minute.
Yeah.
They will turn your sound off. In bigger festivals, smaller ones will just not book you again. So yeah,
that's not a hard one to understand. But it definitely sounds from that as well that well, from what all of you said, that planning and preparation are a big thing going into it. Be prepared that you might just play one heat and make the most of it. Be prepared that if you go all the way to the end, that you're going to have to be completely professional. You can't mess about, and practice. I don't know, nobody specifically said that, but from every answer that you all gave, I got practice your stuff, know your stuff, just like the back of your hand, just in case something goes wrong. I think that's fair. However, that is about all we have time for with the recorded part of this. So I'd just like to say a massive thanks to all three of you for coming on today. And it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. It's been quite informative for myself. I hope it is for some of the people watching. And thank you very much for taking part.
Thank you very much.
That's excellent.
Thanks for having me.
That's it, folks. End of episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe to our channels. And most importantly, check out some links to some awesome stuff from the bands down below.